Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Young Actors Studio First podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm here with our artistic director, Jeff Allen Lee.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening.
So we're going to talk today about Stage Fright. We've been talking a lot about this last couple of weeks in honor of Halloween. So, Jeff, I guess the first question I have for you is, what do you think causes stage fright?
I think what causes stage fright is an innate fear of not knowing what's going to happen. It's the fear of the unknown.
Kind of like this podcast.
Yes, exactly. I wonder how this podcast is going to turn out. I'm so scared. No, but basically that's exactly what it is. Human beings have a natural fear of the unknown, of what's going to happen, of being accepted, of being loved, of surviving, and all this stuff kind of comes into action when you're performing.
So if that's the case, then is stage fright necessarily a bad thing, or is it kind of a good thing to sort of the unknowing a little bit?
I think the unknowing, what makes a great performance happen as an actor is the sense of unknowing, not knowing what's going to happen in the performance, not knowing specifically how it's going to go. That's sort of the art of it. It's a living art that happens spontaneously. The actor starts responding because of something that happens on stage, and when something really real happens on stage or on camera, the audience is tuned in.
And what exactly is stage fright? Because, I mean, is it different than other types of fear, like the fear of going to a new school, the fear of going to the dentist or the doctor's office, or is it the same?
I think it's the same. I think it's the same fear because you just don't know the outcome. And when you don't know what's going to happen, people get a little bit uneasy. We know we're going to go to school. We know we're going to come home. We know we're going to have a nice meal from our parents. We're going to have a nice night's sleep. We're going to get up and the cat's going to jump in the bed. You know things. And when you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what the diagnosis is of the doctor. You don't know how the performance is going to go. You don't know whether their audience is going to laugh. You don't know whether people are going to cheer or like it. You don't know whether you're going to get a good review. That causes a lot of anxiety. But I think it's a necessary part of acting is to have that kind of inner stuff happening.
So now, I mean, obviously, because the studio's been around for 18 years at this point, what are different ways that you've seen stage fright manifest?
Has it been that long?
It has been that long. You were a young man back then.
Very young, for the record.
And but what are the different ways that you've seen stage fright manifest in the students and also even in your own performance?
Oh my gosh, I've seen people clam up and not want to go on stage. I've seen people go on stage and turn around and walk right off the stage. If you remember that one.
Yeah, I do.
And she was very talented, but she and I've seen people rush through their lines or they try to push to get the love of the audience. And I've seen just many things, even people getting nauseously ill.
Yeah.
You know.
And so then I guess to that point, then I mean, except for the one who ran off the stage, which we remember, what are ways that people?
That's a good way. That's a good way to overcome it.
Go the other way.
I remember when I was acting, I was very young in New York, and I was thinking, and the theater faced Port Authority bus terminal, and I was preparing for a play called Little Footsteps, and I saw the buses leave. I was just thinking to myself, I wish I was on my way to New Jersey right now on that bus, because I was so scared.
So what are different ways then that, well, I guess in that performance, how did you cope with it and not go back to New Jersey? Do students cope with stage fright and all that stuff?
I think the first thing is to acknowledge that it's there. Don't play against what you're really feeling in the given moment. If you're feeling afraid, that's okay. That's part of the character's anxiety. It's part of the play. It's part of who you are. It's part of the human experience. And then also stay in the moment of the play. So what just happened before the play started or the film? What do you want in the scene? And the main thing is to think only in the present tense. The present moment will lead you to the next moment and the next moment. In the play I'm doing, it's like an hour. It's a straight hour where I don't get to get off stage. I don't get to do it. Once I'm on, it's going. And if I think about the countless speeches and all the emotional levels and all the things I have to hit, I will have a nervous breakdown and I won't be able to do it. I'll push it so you want to stay in the given moment and take each moment to moment to moment.
And then specifically, I mean, because obviously we work with a lot of kids and teens, so any advice for the parents in helping their child work through the stage fright, either before an audition or before a performance or anything like that?
I think the biggest thing is encouragement, is to encourage them and let them know that they can do it, and let them know that it's not the end of the world, what the outcome is. The other thing is relaxation is a very, very important tool that actors have at their disposal. It's relaxing and then allowing yourself to concentrate on the given thing that you're set to act. Also, we're available, and I don't know whether people out there know that if you have an audition for something, just you can call us, Facebook us anytime, and we'll remind you of what you've been working on in class and how to keep yourself on task. And I urge you to take advantage of that.
And then, when does it seem like stage fright is most common? I mean, do you feel like it's either before the performance or the week before, or is it during the performance? I mean, when does it seem like stage fright most hits?
The biggest is right before. And I've seen it on the first day of class when students come in. It's before the first semester. It's the first day of class. The emotions are just flying.
Right.
And what we do is we sit them in the chair, have them relax. Once they start to relax and focus, I have them look at the audience. They start to get emotional and cry almost. Some do, some don't, some get angry. And we give them a line from a scene, and all of a sudden they're amazing.
And does it
So
seem
it's
like
right before you go on, right before the first day of rehearsal, the first audition, the right before you go on in performance, right before the curtain goes up or the cameras start shooting for the first time?
Is it different for kids and teens stage fright than for adults, or is it the same pretty much for everybody?
I think we're primal people, and I think it's the same for children, for adults, for teens. I think you learn to cope better when you get older, but really it doesn't go away, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not an enemy. It's actually something inside you that's telling you you have a lot going on. It's actually, I think, the very talent of what actors have is a certain amount of fear.
Yeah. So in a sense, then it's almost like you want to allow the fear to be there rather than trying to reject it.
Because the characters are afraid too. The characters are living. If you turn on the television and watch television, watch films, watch theater, the characters are going through some very, very traumatic and scary experiences, as well as funny, wonderful ones. But they're always heightened emotion, and so that's a good thing. And what it does is it validates your feelings, and it makes kids and teens feel like, hey, I'm okay. I have these feelings, but it's making me a great actor or a writer or a director, which is why since the beginning of time we've shared stories as cavemen.
It's almost a courage to be willing to share what you're actually feeling instead of trying to deny it as an actor. Would that
courage to be willing to yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What happens is once you start sharing that, the audience of course has similar experiences, and you're coming together, and humankind is coming together.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's really neat when you do see that with the students all being able to sort of feel connected in the same shared feelings.
Oh, it's fantastic. We have parents that come to us that say, "Oh my God, my child is jumping up on stage. She's no longer shy. She's participating. She's auditioning for school plays." And they think that the fear's gone away, and it hasn't gone away. They've just learned to create with it, and they learn to create something that I think is very, very wonderful and beautiful, and what they can take in any aspect of their life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think this was great for our first podcast, Jeff.
Yes, this is our first. If you liked it, please let us know.
Yeah, please do.
Write on Facebook or whatever you want to write on it.
Absolutely.
This is fun, and hopefully it's helpful to everyone listening.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll look forward to doing these every other week. So thanks so much, Jeff, and thank you everyone out there in, I don't know, what, Cyberland?
Cyberland, thank you for listening.
Listen in. Have a good one.